In today's world of football, everyone wants to be the next Lionel Messi or the next Cristiano Ronaldo. Thousands of young players are labeled as the next big thing in world football only. For them to completely disappear from the limelight, why do these players fail to live up to the hype? While Messi and Ronaldo have gone on to become two of the greatest players of all time, let's find out what went wrong. When it comes to the next Messi or the next Ronaldo, one name that pops up is Bojan Krkić. Back in 2008, when Bojan was just 17 years old, he broke into Barcelona's first team and immediately caught everyone's attention. His skills were raw and his vision was exceptional. He was also incredibly fast and could play anywhere across the forward line. It was clear that Bojan was destined for greatness. In an interview with Mundo Deportivo, Pep Guardiola once said about Bojan, "He has great potential. He's a player who can make the difference. I like his initiative and how he plays without fear. People will soon realize how good he is." High praise indeed from one of the best managers ever. However, things didn't really work out for Bojan at Barcelona, and he spent most of his time on the bench. In the summer of 2011, he joined Roma on loan and impressed everyone. But after returning to Camp Nou, he was again relegated to the bench, and he joined Ajax in 2012. Since then, Bojan has played for several clubs, but never established himself as a key player. In 2019, Bojan spoke about his time at Barcelona and said, "I learned a lot. I was at the best club in the world, but I didn't get many opportunities. You always want to play more. If I had played as much as I trained, I would have made history at Barca." This really makes you think that perhaps Bojan was a victim of circumstance. If he had been given more opportunities at Barcelona, things could have turned out differently. The next player on our list is Alexandre Pato. Just like Bojan, Pato also came through the youth ranks of his club and made an immediate impact. In 2007, he became the youngest player to debut for international at the age of 17 years and 38 days. Pato quickly became one of the most lethal strikers in the Brazilian league and attracted the attention of some of Europe's biggest clubs. In January 2008, he joined AC Milan for a fee of €22 million, and fans could unwait to see him in action. Pato didn't disappoint and scored 18 goals in his debut season, forming a deadly partnership with Filippo Inzaghi. However, injuries started to take a toll on his career, and he began to lose his place in the starting lineup. After struggling for form and fitness at Milan, Pato joined Chelsea on loan in 2013, hoping that a change of scenery would help him get back to his best. But things didn't work out as planned, and he returned to Italy a few months later. Over the next few years, he had stints at Sao Paulo, Tenjin Yuzu, and Orlando City SC before returning to Brazil with International in 2021. Looking back, it's safe to say that Pato's career didn't quite live up to the expectations that were set for him. Had it not been for the injuries, Pato could have gone on to become one of the best strikers in the world. Another player who is expected to emulate Messi's success is Ganso. Like Messi, Ganso came through the youth ranks of Santos and was known for his incredible dribbling skills and playmaking abilities. In fact, Ganso was so good that Neymar's father once said, "Neymar is the same style of player as Messi. I like Santos's playmaker Ganso more than Neymar." High praise indeed from Neymar's own father. Ganso was also compared to Messi by Santos legend, who said, "Ganso reminds me of Messi because he can stop the ball with his left foot and go past an opponent with ease." With such lofty comparisons, it was no surprise that Ganso was labeled as the next Messi. But unfortunately, things didn't work out as planned. After helping Santos win 2 Paulista titles, 2 Copa do Brasil, and 1 Copa Libertadores, Ganso decided to try his luck in Europe. In June 2012, he signed with Sao Paulo for €16 million. And while he did manage to score some important goals for the club, he never really lived up to his billing. In 2015, Ganso's agent admitted that his client had not fulfilled his potential, and said, "We all know that Ganso could have played for Real Madrid instead of Isco. The boy made a mistake by going to Sao Paulo too soon and for a lot of money." Ganso eventually returned to Santos in 2019, has since fallen out of favor with the club's supporters. So what went wrong for these players? Well, there are a number of factors that contributed to their downfall. Firstly, they were all incredibly talented players who were blessed with natural ability. However, they lacked the mental toughness and discipline to succeed at the highest level. Messi and Ronaldo, on the other hand, have always been incredibly dedicated and professional, both on and off the pitch. They have the right mentality to succeed, which has taken them to the very top of the game. Secondly, these players were all labeled as the next big thing too early on in their careers. This put a lot of pressure on them to perform and live up to the expectations of the media and the fans. Messi and Ronaldo, on the other hand, were given time to develop and mature as players without the pressure of being labeled as the next anything. Finally, these players were all at the wrong clubs for most of their careers. They either didn't get enough playing time, or they were in teams that were unchallenging for major honors. Messi and Ronaldo, on the other hand, have always played for the best teams in the world and have won numerous trophies over the course of their careers. Now, if we look at these players individually, it's easy to see why they failed to reach their potential. Let's take Bojan, for example. He was an incredibly gifted player who was unfortunate to be at Barcelona during the era of Pep Guardiola. During that time, Barcelona had one of the best squads ever assembled and included players like Messi, Iniesta, and Xavi, so it was going to be very difficult for any young player to break into the starting lineup. Pato, on the other hand, was a victim of bad luck. He suffered a serious knee injury that hampered his progress and prevented him from playing at the highest level consistently. Ganso, meanwhile, made the mistake of joining Sao Paulo too soon in his career. He needed more time to develop, and playing in Brazil wouldn't have helped him improve as a player. While it's easy to point fingers and say that these players were simply not good enough, the reality is that they were all victims of circumstance. They were at the wrong clubs at the wrong times, and they were all labeled as the next big thing before they were ready. On the other hand, Messi and Ronaldo have always been at the right clubs, and they have won numerous trophies, individual awards, and broken countless records. They have the right mentality to succeed, and their dedication and professionalism are second to none. So what can we learn from this? Firstly, we should be careful not to label young players as the next Messi or Ronaldo too early on in their careers. This puts unnecessary pressure on them and takes away their love for the game. Secondly, we should remember that Messi and Ronaldo are once-in-a-generation talents who have achieved something that most of us can only dream of. We should celebrate their achievements and marvel at what they have done rather than trying to find the next Messi or Ronaldo. After all, they are unique, and there will never be another Messi or Ronaldo. That's all for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.